Welcome once again to Breakfast Central. Now, we kick off the conversations this morning by talking about the NLC. The state chapters and, of course, affiliate unions of the Nigerian Labour Congress are already gearing up for a possible declaration of a nationwide strike following the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum given to the federal government to provide palliatives to cushion the pains associated with the recent fuel subsidy removal. The organized labor had earlier, of course, embarked on a 2-day warning strike to press home its demands. Now, after the warning strike, the NLC gave the government a 21-day ultimatum within which to meet its demands. But with the expiration of the ultimatum on Friday, September 22nd, the NLC has scheduled an emergency meeting of its National Executive Council for Tuesday, September 26th, which of course is tomorrow. The council's next line of action is expected to be decided at the meeting. Now, earlier, Peter Esele, the former president, Trade Union Congress, joined us to discuss this development.
Of the 21-day strike. So the process within the labor movement is that once you give an ultimatum, then the next thing is the National Executive Council will have to meet to make a decision. Whether there will be strike or no strike, I think the National Executive Council meeting scheduled for Tuesday will determine that. But one thing is very clear here is that there seems to be a division within the organized labor in the country, because what we are hearing is majorly Nigerian Labour Congress, which is the NLC, and not the TUC. So majorly, if you are calling for a nationwide strike and you want to have a symptom of being very aggressive and being able to mobilize and make the strike effective, both organizations, both the TUC and the NSC, need to be on the same wavelength. But so far, this is not happening.
And we, of course, will be likely setting up a conversation with the NLC, sometime this week to understand what exactly their demands are of the federal government. And, of course, the conversation concerning palliatives, if that is really an honest request from the Nigerian, or from the NLC, rather, to the Nigerian government. Do the Nigerian people even require palliatives? If everyone, gets to answer that question, we might be able to move forward. And what exactly do we call palliatives? How much, do they solve any of the problems that the fuel subsidy brings? Of course, the removal of fuel subsidy brings. But here's the catch. Yes, we're talking about the removal of fuel subsidy, an increment in the price of petrol across the country, increment in the cost of living across the country. But then, a couple of days ago, it turns out that Nigeria may not really have even taken off fuel subsidy. We might still even be paying subsidy. And that's one thing that I believe that the NLC maybe should, bring back the questions, in part of the questions to the Nigerian government. Are we paying subsidy or not? It was reported last week that Nigeria still had to cough out about 169 billion naira for subsidy payments in the month of August. So who is lying? Who's telling the truth? And, what exactly is the reasons, behind the calls for a strike? And of course, will the Nigerian government be at least honest enough with its people? These are some of the things that we hope that we can unravel this week while we talk about the NLC strike. Now,